Ladies, gentlemen, and Mashmak pilots, welcome to this advanced Mecha Break guide. My name is Corey, aka Corlax, and I will be your officer for today. I'll be getting MVP after MVP and perfect extraction on top of perfect extraction, just having an absolute blast and getting a ton of loot boxes. Today I'd like to share with you everything that I have learned after playing over 60 hours of the game. I feel I've picked up some really useful tips. Go ahead and grab yourself a drink or a snack, use the restroom. Let's settle in and cover some really great topics in today's video. As always, links will be in the description, and please leave me a question or comment if you have any. I always do my best to answer. Without further ado, let's get started. Right off the bat, the main goal of Mashmak, in my opinion, is to run the highest difficulty, which is extreme, because this mode allows the loot boxes to drop. Yeah, the main goal is to have fun, but in the end of the day, really what you're chasing is the loot boxes, because these only have a weekly limit of 30, and after you buy them out, that's it. So the only way to get more is by running more extreme Mashmak. Now that being said, extreme Mashmak is absolutely no joke. Not only are the NPCs extremely difficult, but players are going to be coming at you with incredibly strong weapons. Let's take a look at some of these weapons and why they hit so much harder than the standard equipment that comes with our mechs. Let's head over to the marketplace here and take a look at some of the weapons. For instance, I'll look at the heavy sniper rifles, which is the same weapon that Aquila uses, so we can compare the damage types here. Keep in mind, there are higher tiers that go from rare to flawless, and even higher up to perfect, which pay-to-win players are going to have for sure. Look at the damage on this, okay? 38,000 for the heavy shot compared to our standard issued heavy sniper rifle that only hits for 22,000. You're going to be getting smoked by these higher tier weapons. Even the rare weapons are really easy to find in normal or hard Mashmak. So they're not difficult, but I just want to highlight how important that is and how much harder they hit than the regular weapons. These are so important when you're going into extreme against other players and the NPCs. They are just major. Do not sleep with them and find what weapons work for you. That being said, I personally really enjoy the extra energy shield that I get because I really like Aquila sniping. You may want to pick up a sword and say the shield so that you have that in case you get trapped and want to try to parry a Welkin or an Elysinus, for example. Really, at the end of the day, you want to find what works with your play style, but ideally, I just wanted to show you how much more damage the weapons you find in Mashmak are doing compared to your standard issued weapons on your mech. Now, that being said, aside from the loot boxes, ideally, you're trying to spend and get as many mission points as possible so that you can unlock the further tiers down the list here for the season, so eventually we can unlock the support Jetwing and all the cool Scorching Fire skins, essentially. Now, to get the most mission points, you're going to want to run a ton of Mashmak because you can get the Corite ore in here. And keep in mind, the higher tiers of Corite ore do drop in extreme, so you can ideally get more, but you're risking dying and losing all of your loot as well. So now that you understand how important items are, let's dive straight into strategies. Okay, there are some really important things that you can do on every striker that are going to help increase your success chance of extracting with any striker. And that is the following. One, you always need to have your wits about you. It's easy to just start looting and forget there's other players. But what I do is you want to constantly look at your minimap for the big blurps, the big triangle red blobs, okay? That signifies a real player. That's a great way to see if anyone is near you, if they pop up on your mini-map, and it's just a no-brainer, really great way to find enemies. Another one is look for the reinforcement pods. Keep in mind, you can only respawn on normal and hard, and extreme, you only get one life, so you're not going to see these in extreme. But in normal and hard mode, constantly look around and survey while you're looting, and you will easily catch people spawning in where you can come and take them out again, no problem. There are so many viable strategies and ways to make it out with loot. You could even use the cargo rockets, for example, or you can even camp the extraction zones, which I don't think is very honorable, but it's absolutely a viable strategy, and anything goes. It's a dog-eat-dog game mode, so really anything goes. If you want to camp an extraction point with a ton of high-tier weapons and just take people out after they loot, good for you. You can go ahead and do that. But this is what I do. I absolutely am an Aquila main. Yes, please drop all the hate, but keep in mind, it's so important to learn other strikers. I'm currently Diamond in Arena, and I'll touch on more in-depth mechanics on Aquila further in the video, so check the timestamps if you'd like to jump straight to that. I really enjoy the playstyle of Aquila in Mashmak because I love just owning the sky, no pun intended. As we've gotten further into the game and people are understanding their strikers more, I am absolutely getting my butt handed to me constantly. So do not think that Aquila is absolutely overpowered. You probably just need to learn to counter it the right way, as I'm getting absolutely smoked the higher I rank up and the further I get into these extreme Mashmak modes. And that's a great segue into my next point, which is it's absolutely viable to run normal and hard mode, and I will purposely lower my combat readiness so I can just hit the 2k cap to go in there and come out with more mods and get more core right, whatever I need, in a more casual way. Ideally, when you're going into Extreme Mashmak, you should be stacking all of your best items and all of your best airdrop supplies that you absolutely have, so that you have the best chances possible to get more loot boxes without spending real money on them. So let's talk about items and airdrops and exactly what the items really do and what I prefer to use. Now, I really lean into the healing beacons. It's a pretty no-brainer. I cannot heal as Aquila, but I have ran into some insane Lumine mains and other mechs that are just insane, so this might not work for you. But me as an Aquila main, I really like to run healing beacons, as you don't always find them on the map when you need them, and after a certain battle with another striker, they can really come in handy. Other than that, the recon beacons can be really nice for when you are extracting, because they allow you to see players through walls. Another no-brainer, the decoy beacons are absolutely phenomenal for when you're in a battle, even against, say, someone like me who's playing Aquila. I would not be able to target you, and I would have to free fire to hit you. So those are going to be awesome. Keep in mind, the higher tiers allow them to have more durability, basically more HP. They take longer to take down, and they're going to last longer as well. Just like with the healing beacons, the higher tier the healing beacon is, the more times you can pop it, essentially healing yourself for a higher amount. Now, the greatest items in the game are the gliders, and they require more pieces to craft than any of the other items or airdrops because they are so good. Now, when you craft the gliders, they're different kinds. There's the melee sniper, suppression support, or enhancement. Here's a look at what the melee glider looks like. These are so awesome. They do just what they say. You can glide around the map without burning your energy, and they have extra tools on them. These are going to be like the top dog best airdrops possible. Anyone who has a ton of gliders, healing beacons, etc. in their airdrops are going to have a huge advantage in the Extreme Mashmak, without a doubt. Now, a few things to keep in mind for Mashmak and a few final tips for you. Keep in mind, about halfway through Extreme, a special enemy will spawn that guaranteed has better drops, and almost all the players will always flock to this. Go at this enemy, but be sure not to start attacking him, as other players are guaranteed going to drop in, and you can strategize this enemy the right way, possibly take out other strikers, and get yourself some really good loot. Another no-brainer tip is you need to get fast at looting, okay? Pushing F on keyboard will auto-loot everything, and using how to use the space bar to discard items fast so that you can grab what you want quickly is going to be huge. You want to loot, get in, and get out, especially for players like Aquila who do not want to be on the ground for long, which I will touch in the in-depth breakdown of his mechanics. Also, your mods do break, so if you die a lot of times in Mashmak, those mods that you earned through really hard work are going to break, and you will lose them. Keep in mind, you can always create more. It's really not that hard to get mods, but keep in mind, they do break and you do lose them. The more you die, you're going to have to constantly be searching for mods and equipping them. Give yourself extra sets. Do yourself a favor. That really covers most of it for Mashmak for me, guys. Find what works best for you. Find what items you like. Be sure to go in there and have a full airdrop supply. If you're going to be doing extreme, you want to have everything in your advantage you can. And if you want to play a little more casually, there's no problem going into normal or hard. You can earn plenty of mission points in there and just get the 30 boxes every week available to you. If you're still here, guys, I really appreciate it. That really does it for Mashmak. Now I want to go into some in-depth mechanics of Aquila and how to play Aquila the best way possible. As I said before, I'm currently Diamond, and I just love the way Aquila plays in Mashmak because I feel like I'm a god of the sky, constantly surveilling, and I just absolutely love it. So let's talk about the skills that make Aquila completely outshine the other mechs, in my opinion, and where his strengths lie if you know what you're doing. Right out the gate, we got to talk about Aquila's airborne kit. It's phenomenal for staying in the air, and you have to be good at juggling this with your base energy level. Using these properly will allow you to never touch the ground. They give you plenty enough energy for both your airborne kit and your regular boosters that you can always stay suspended in the air. It's a huge advantage of playing Aquila. It's what helps you take out other strikers, and you need to stay in the air. I just can't overstate it enough. Learning how to utilize your airborne kit and make sure you are turning it off when you're using your regular energy, as when you use your regular energy, it's keeping you afloat. You have no reason to burn your extra airborne fuel. Keep that in mind. It's huge. If you learn how to juggle those two properly with more and more practice, you will always be in the air, and it's going to give you a huge advantage when it comes to playing Aquila. Second off, the Pulse Claw. This is an item that we have for Aquila that essentially helps us stun players. In my opinion, it's really great for enemies like Milestones or Welkin when they're coming at you. That's when you're going to want to pop the claw to stun them and give yourself time to get away. At the end of the day, Aquila is a ranged character, and this is essentially your kiting ability to help kite strikers away from you so you can get ranged. Then we have the multi-lock radar. This is absolutely insane. It works so good for all the different modes. In Mashmak, it widens your mini-map so you can see enemies even easier. It's going to allow you to auto-lock onto enemies. Keep in mind, this auto-lock works really, really well for enemies like Falcon, who are incredibly fast, and you cannot track them. They're very difficult to hit with free aiming, but you can hit them with the multi-lock radar. You want to use this at clutch moments, say when an enemy has low HP, say when you have a lot of ammo reserve. You don't want to just pop it when you have, one bullet left and burn its cooldown. You want to use it and time it wisely. That's going to give you the edge over other players. Last but not least, let's talk about the mobile beam cannon, aka our main weapon. Aquila is all about burst damage, in my opinion. You really want to make plays when you know you have a good opportunity while constantly laying steady DPS out. What you don't want to do is burn through all of your ammo and not have any reserve ammunition or have the ability to attack when you need it. I would recommend always keeping a close eye on your regular fire and heavy fire so that you always have some ammunition to make a play. Other than that, some great tips are knowing when to line a sight, always keeping distance from melee characters, as we have no complex shield. The only shield that Aquila has is a fluid shield, and if you didn't know, melee weapons eat completely through, they completely bypass, the fluid shield, so characters like Welkin and Milestones are going to completely chew through Aquila if they catch you. I am great at killing Aquila players because I know Aquila so well. Other than that, line of sighting is another major one, knowing good vantage points to hang out at, and you can literally hang out up in snipers' nests. Use Aquila's strengths to your advantage. Another huge one for Aquila is the free aiming. By playing Aquila, it makes this game feel like an FPS game to me, and I really enjoy that. I personally play on mouse and keyboard, and if you get good at the free aiming, you can hit your heavy shots without the multi-lock radar, and it makes you incredible. You're going to get so many kills if you get good at this. I really can't state it enough. And when you're in Mashmak, if enemies are too far away to lock on, you can still hit them with the free aiming. It's so major, I can't recommend trying it enough. Practice if you need to in the advanced challenges. They have a really good one for Aquila where you can hone in your aiming skills. That's really about it, guys. Knowing when to hide and get away, use line of sight advantages to build up your fluid shield, always staying in the air. The ground is lava. The ground is lava. We don't ever touch the ground. Get out of there. You see a Welkin coming at you, you get away from him. That's all it is. We're a ranged character. You could think of us as like a sniper archer character, and you want to play it as so. I'm having such a blast. Keep in mind, guys, when you get into the high up arena, people do not mess around, okay? People are really great at taking out Aquila. They know his weaknesses. They know how to take me out. And when you get into the high arena, my biggest recommendation to players is learning another striker. I personally have 3. I do Milestones, Welkin, and Aquila. So in arena, when they take out my Aquila, I will instantly swap to Welkin to throw them off and come hit them with a curveball and completely blind eye them and take them out. Then on retrospect, when they take out my Welkin, maybe I'll switch to Milestones, or maybe I'll go back to Aquila to throw them off guard. It really is about the changeup and throwing them off. Once players get to a certain skill cap, you need to learn how to switch things up. Another really important side note, guys, being able to utilize your airborne kit and your multi-lock radar at the same time is basically what's going to allow you to go Super Saiyan mode. It's going to let you stabilize, aim your shots, aim those free fire shots when you can't lock on. It really is so important. And also on top of this, you should get good as well at utilizing your basic energy. What I do is I just hold shift and aim around with the WASD keys while I aim in free fire, and that works really well too for trying to stabilize myself in the air while I can't use my airborne kit while that's refreshing. So just keep that in mind, okay? When you're able to utilize all this and synergize all this together, you're going to become a great Aquila player, fly up through the ranks, and be successfully extracting numerous times, I promise. Other than that, there's some fun little things you can do to progress those mission tokens faster. There's some silly little cards you can buy to go explore the bay, to go look at like a bar, and some fun things if you're into that. And I've gotten lucky, and I've gotten some really cool patterns out of the boxes that I probably could sell successfully on the marketplace, because as you've probably seen yourself, a lot of stuff really doesn't sell, except for maybe these really high tier lucky drops. So that's really where I'm going to leave you here, guys. I hope you learned something in this video today. All of this has helped me become a much better player, climb the ranks, and get a ton of loot. Overall, I'm having a blast with Mecha Break. I'd really like to see where the game goes and what kind of updates we see in the future. I really like to avoid spending real money in these games, so I hope this helped you with the mission tokens and unlocking everything without spending real money on the core egg, guys. I hope you're happy and well. Please leave me a comment, and I will do my best to answer. I appreciate you, and have a great day, pilots. Take care. See you in the next one.